hey, good morning for everybody joining us real quick. Fast version of this is um, these are going to be some lessons that some of you guys already know. Maybe you've heard me talk about. Most of you guys are kind of used to hearing me. You've been in the space that I've been in. So I decided to do this today because there's some things that I keep noticing that need to be repeated over and over again. And what better way than to be frequent, right? So go through the information more often. So I've got 10 things real quick here. And just so you know how I operate is when I'm taking notes, which I have books here in front of me over here, notes that I constantly take when I go to workshops, seminars. When I start writing the same notes down over and over again, when it's the same information over and over again, I notice on this notepad over here and this one over here has the same notes. It's something speaking to me. There's something important about that I need to pay attention to. So what I've done is 10 of those right here that I've written out that I feel are consistent to every small business owner that I'm working with currently, that they're struggling with, that they have struggles with, they continue to struggle with, the cycles that they go through. So it's a reminder for them, but also a reminder for me that these are the things that will keep me from getting everything in life that I want. Matter of fact, I'm texting with a real estate agent right now because there's a home that came on the market today that I wanted to go find out how to get. So, like, you want to go get something like that, you've got to kind of figure some things out. All right, so I'm going to jump right into it. First thing is the biggest problem that I noticed that I face in my past, even present, is being very clear, transparent with myself, not with anybody else, about exactly what it is I want the outcome to be. Like, what exactly do I want? Here's the things that we tell people we want. Oh, I want to be a millionaire. Oh, I want to live in this house. Oh, I want to travel to that vacation spot, that destination. Those are all the things that we believe people want to hear us say. But honestly, it's like it might not be what really you want to go after. So, when's the last time you sat down with a notepad, no distractions, no TV, no music, even no kids pulling at your cape there, like, and honestly said, hey, 5 years in the future, I don't like 10 years. I think 5 years is almost too long. Like, where is it where you're intentional, serious about what is it that I really want? So, I'll give you some ideas and some context here. Because when I was younger, I thought money would solve a lot of problems. It does solve some problems, obviously, but not everything. Sometimes you get that, and it creates other problems. You don't have the relationships you thought you were going to have. You don't have the health you thought you were going to have. You don't necessarily have connections, not just the relationships with people, but what about the connections with the things that you're doing? It's very transparent that it's just a transaction and it's not a relationship. So I always tell myself is I got to remind myself what the outcome I'm chasing. So when you're in the grind, the work, the hustle, you're in the weeds, so to speak. You're able to fight through that because you know what you're going after. Okay, now that's different for everybody. I believe too many of us, including myself, we say things publicly, we post stuff on our social media that is more what we think people want to hear from us, and it's not the real answer. You might not actually need to have 10 million in the bank to have all of your dreams. Okay. It might sound good. What if it came at the cost of your health? What if it came at the cost of relationships, your family? Is that really what you're chasing then? Probably not. So, pen and paper. One thing I would say is know exactly the outcome that you really want in life. On the other side is don't lie to yourself and sell yourself short that you're not capable of having it all. I think you are. Matter of fact, I think that most of us actually undersell ourselves. We have the dream that we want. We back down from it because we're scared to tell people what that is. Right? We get intimidated because we know people are going to, ridicule, make fun of, laugh. Even if they don't do it to our face. We know if we tell a friend our dream because we're crazy. I know that I'm different than almost everybody that I know. Everybody that I hang out with and want to be around, I'm probably weird to them. Okay, and you just have to be comfortable with that. And sometimes that intimidates people. Sometimes, I've got a poster in my office next to me. One of my mentors, Grant Cardone, who I'm a certified coach through, the poster that says "Be dangerous." Like, I think when you really chase your dreams and you do it, um, like every single day, I'll be one of the things we go through here. It scares people because they want to do that, but they sell themselves short. They try to back themselves down from it. So, first, know the outcome, and not the surface outcome, the real outcome of what you're chasing. Okay. Next part. Okay. Once you know what you're truly wanting to go after, so this could be in your business, it could be in your relationships. You know clearly exactly what I want. Then, if it's real, then you got to get committed. All right. And commitment means you don't do it 3 days a week or 4 days a week or 5 days a week. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday. Like the majority of the people that I see, I took my family out to Top Golf last night. Friday night, we were there from 7 to 9. After 9, it starts getting really busy, right? The younger group comes in. That place makes some money for sure, but and it's a fun place to go. And we're there, and I'm looking around. I'm just talking about that people live. They work Monday through Friday. They got off Friday, and they can't wait to come up here to hit some balls and have some drinks. And that's their excitement for life. That's what they're chasing. And then maybe today on a Saturday, they're definitely not up at 11 o'clock. Some of you guys it's 8 o'clock where you're at right now. Not trying to get one little nugget. All you got to get today is one little nugget that's going to help you for the next week and improves your life. They're not doing that. They're living literally just to survive their job, survive so they can live paycheck to paycheck. They don't have an outcome they're chasing, right? And they're not committed because when they do say, "Hey, I'm going to lose weight. Hey, I want to gain 10 influential friends. Hey, I want to have 100,000 in the bank at one time." Whatever it is they say they're going to chase, they're not committed because they'll do it for 4 days in a row, take off 3. Here's what I know about nutrition and diet. You're trying to lose weight, try to eat good 4 days in a row and eat like crap 3 days and see if you get where you want to go. I even challenge you to eat 6 days clean, work out 5 days, take one day off. You're probably still not going to get there. So, you got to get committed. When I've done this in my life, by the way, I've done the yo-yo, I've done the roller coasters. I've been really intentional about going after a goal in business or with fitness and got sidetracked. And then tell myself, oh, I'll get restarted on Monday. Okay. How many of you guys ever said, hey, I'm going to get restarted on Monday when it's your diet? Monday comes along, I'll do it next Monday. Next, 3 years goes by and, you're not where you wanted to be. Then you have regret. When you're super committed and you're willing to go through whatever it takes to be 7 days committed to your goals and dreams, what happens is you start believing your dream more as a reality. And it's not a dream anymore. It's not a goal anymore. It's literally like it's inevitable. It's a belief. And belief, there's confidence, there's belief. I believe you gain confidence first. Confidence comes and goes, right? Confidence is one of those things that you get by achieving something. So you hit a target in business. You hit a target with a skill set, like you're playing basketball or football or martial arts. You get better at something. You gain confidence, right? In martial arts, where I came from, you pass a belt test, boom, you got confidence. You continue to gain confidence. You keep feeding that animal. It converts into a belief system where you literally can have it full time. You can tap into it. Somebody that you guys probably heard of named David Goggins. He talks about the garage, your brain, how you store things in there. And if you keep it junky, right? You open up somebody's garage and they've got, they can't even park the cars in there. You guys know what I'm talking about? You can't even park your cars in the garage because there's boxes upon boxes and just stuff. It's just storage. And they can't even park the cars in there. You go to find the one tool that you need for a job, you can't find it because you have no idea where it's at, right? But you open up somebody's garage who's organized and you need to go find the screwdriver, you know exactly where to go. Your brain's like that. So you need to go grab some confidence. You need to go grab some courage. You need to go grab some discipline. You know exactly because you've structured your thinking, your process. So confidence converts into a belief. So once you know your outcome, you've written it down. You're super intentional about where you want to go in life, how much money you need to have the life that you want. Why do you want that kind of money? Like, what are you going to do with that money? I'll give you a great context right now. Okay. So, unfortunately, I'm a season ticket holder of the Atlanta Falcons. We've never won a Super Bowl. We've been to two. Obviously, we lost one pretty badly. Um, and I don't know if we'll ever win one. I tell people the year after I die, we're going to win the Super Bowl. Okay. So I'll tell people I'm a frustrated Falcon fan for life. I'm still a fan. Don't know why. Okay. Other than the fact that I grew up in the area and my dad taught me to root for the place that you came from. So I have season tickets. It gives me access to go to all the other events at the stadium. It is probably the best stadium in the NFL because I've been to all the new ones. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. But last night, preseason game, I was able to upgrade my seats into. There's only 4 suites like this in our stadium. They're on the field, literally on the field. Okay, preseason game. But I have some friends that root for the other team we were playing last night, and I was able to gift those tickets to them, and they had a great experience. I traded success, which earned me money, to be able to create an experience for people that I love and care about. That's why I want success, right? So, like when you're trying to be like, what's your outcome? Well, how much money do you really need to have the life that you want? Because there's only so much stuff you can buy. Like after a while, it's just not fun having all the stuff. And if you don't have it, you might say, well, of course, it's easy to say when you have it. Trust me, you'll get the car that you want. And after about 2 weeks, it's just a car, it's just transportation. You get a watch that you've been wanting. It's like, I don't even use this to tell time. I look at my phone, right? It's a piece of jewelry at that point. So after a while, it's more of a target that you chase. You got it, check the box, move on to the next thing. So really, how much money do you need? What is the outcomes you're chasing? Because what does that connect to? For me, I want success so I can create experiences. So I can go where I want to, when I want to, with who I want to, how I want to, and not have to worry about the financial impact of it. I saw how my mom and dad were. Like, oh, can we go do that trip? Oh man, you know what? We can't take all of this. My first karate tournament that I went on the West Coast. I'm 7 years old. I'm 7 years old. The tournament's in Tacoma, Washington. Okay. I lived in Augusta, Georgia. You're talking about as far apart in the country as you can be. I'm 7 years old. I flew from Augusta to Atlanta, Atlanta, Seattle. Seattle got picked up by a relative that I've never met before, by the way. I'm 7 years old. Remember this. Of course, this is the 80s, a little bit different world. Who drove me to Tacoma. I had to go compete by myself to go back to Seattle, to fly back to Atlanta, fly back to Augusta. My first time on a flight, my mom and dad couldn't afford to go with me. They had to make decisions based only on money. Now they found a way to make it work. Well, what if you can make decisions because it's actually the right decision to make, not because you have to do it within a wheelhouse of money? So that's why when you look at what your outcome you're trying to chase, what is it you really want, and why do you want it? Because you'll figure out how intentional that you have to be for that. Then second, you got to get committed. It's got to be 7 days a week, not six, not five, not four, not occasionally, not when you want to. If I woke up, okay, this year I made an intention about a couple buckets in my life, one being fitness. Right, I could use COVID as the excuse of when I gained weight, some accuracy there, but I didn't have to. Okay, I took my foot off the gas every day, 5 o'clock in the morning since January 1st. I've not missed a day, even when I've traveled. I've been on the West Coast, East Coast. It doesn't matter. I haven't missed a day. It's consistency is what's going to win the battle. Okay. All right. So commitment converts to belief. Third thing, this tied. By the way, the first three somewhat could be a 1A, 1B, 1C type thing. Okay. But besides being committed, creating that belief system, the third thing is you need to get resold daily. Okay, what does resold mean? You're gonna write it out. Hey, here's what I'm chasing in life, in my fitness, in my relationships, in my influence, in my financial life, my professional life. Here's all the things that I want over the next 3 years, 5 years. I don't believe in 10-year goals. It's too far out. Rewind your life 10 years ago. Look forward to where you are now. You couldn't have predicted all the things that happened to you. It's just not. It's too far in the future. I think 5 years is even tough. So, what does getting resold mean? You got to tell me in the past 7 days, you haven't had one day that you woke up maybe a little groggy, or one day that your daughter was a little late to school getting ready and it threw off your day, or maybe something happened with your dog or friend. You're not telling me one thing in life in just 7 days. There's not one thing that slightly kind of distracted you. Maybe you got sick, right? Maybe you're sore from your workout the day before, so you don't want to work out today. Maybe you had some bad news at work. Maybe a friend passed away. Something to pull your energy away from what you were committed to. So I know for me, literally every day I practice this. There's a point in the day, maybe I get a little tired. Maybe I just had a bad call with a client. There is something where I have to take a pause, take 5 minutes, and go back to, all right, all of this stuff I'm doing is to chase this. I'll tell you about this call right now. These are notes. I told you at the beginning, these are notes that I've noticed I keep rewriting from calls I'm doing. And one of my clients was like, hey, I need you to give me a few things real fast that I need to write down and focus on. So I went through my notes. I got this list down. I said, hey, I'm going to record you a video. And I didn't do it. So I set this up 2 days ago to force myself to record it for him. And I said, you know what? I'll give it to everybody. I'll record it. I'm going to give it to everybody. All right. So there's going to be a point in time. Maybe it's later today. Maybe it's tomorrow. All right. Monday morning comes along. Something's going to happen. It's going to be something with your friend, your spouse, your kid, your dog, yourself. You're just going to get a little distracted. And momentum is hard to get. All right. Hard to keep if you don't get resold on a regular basis, almost as a practice. So whether you put stuff on the wall, whether you journal, right? This is what I have a journal in front of this computer. That's what I like to do. Whether you use your phone, whether you do video notes to yourself. I know a lot of people who record themselves like they're talking to themselves. It might be silly or funny, whatever, but if it works, it works. Like, what is your technique? So, what I will say is, whatever you pick something you know you can do, not because you think it sounds cool. Like journaling is not a thing I'm really good at. I have like 60 of them, and I just carry a bunch of different ones, and then I reconcile them at some point. I'm not good at it, but I know there's something powerful when I take pen and paper. So it's a discipline I've taught myself, and then I enjoy it now. I didn't at first, right? I don't like putting the notes in my phone because I think that's the lazy way for me, and I don't really comprehend when I'm writing, and I don't really respect it. I have to take pen and paper. That's me. So you have to know yourself on this. Okay, so have a way that you resell yourself daily on what you're chasing, what you're going after, why you're doing it. So if you get distracted, you can get back on course quicker. If one day you wake up and what you thought you wanted isn't really what you wanted, you can pivot faster. Okay. Now let's talk about business. So those are things that tie into all aspects of your business life, your personal life, uh, everything. Okay, your spirituality. You got to know your outcome, right? And you have to be very clear and intentional about that. Okay, you have to be committed 7 days a week, all the time. Can't take time off. You're on vacation. You still got to be committed to your goals, right? Otherwise, you're not going to make them there, and then you'll turn into an excuse person. We don't like those people, right? And then getting resold daily. All right. So now getting specific to business, you need to understand what a cycle of business needs to look like. And I'm going to break this down simple. We can get more complicated. If you guys end up working with my company in the future, or if you already are, obviously those are conversations we can have. But let's keep it simple. There is in this first bucket right here, there's branding, marketing, and advertising. A lot of people think that's all the same thing. Those are three different things. As a small business owner, you probably are going to do marketing more than branding and advertising. If you're huge, you're doing all three. Okay. Coca-Cola does all three of those. All right. And they do them very creatively, and they've got the resource to do those creatively because they have people, not just money, they have people. Most small businesses are all run by one person, two people. So you don't have the resource to go drop 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, $1 million in a month in advertising, pay for play type thing. So you have to be creative, and creative creates the opportunity for marketing. Okay. So the first funnel would be branding, marketing, and advertising. And most of you guys are going to be marketing. I say it's the first thing is everybody wants to go try to make money first, but you can't make money if no one knows what you are. Right. So you have to get out and get known in the world, and you need to do that with frequency. Right. The way you become great is you got to get frequent. Frequent is going back to being committed. You don't market on Tuesday and that's it. You don't market on when you feel like it. It's just like everything else in life, consistency is going to win that battle. Okay. Marketing's first. Second part of that funnel in business would be your product or your service. So if you're in the lawn care business, right, you're selling t-shirts, whatever it is, if it's a product or a service, that's the second part of it. And what I mean, second part is it's what you do, okay, that you have to become greater, better every day. So if you are selling t-shirts, and that is your business right now, well, you need to market to the world that you do that. Second thing is you need to be constantly working on improving what your product is. Because if you stay consistently and you think, okay, I'm stagnant, I'm great, this is awesome, I don't have to change anything, it's making me money, you're very vulnerable. Somebody can take you out because they can just find a better, cheaper, faster way to do it. So you constantly need to be working on improving the product or the service. When I was running martial arts schools, we would do the marketing, we'd also advertise, we'd also work on branding, we'd do those things. Our service of martial arts teaching, we constantly worked on getting better on how we provide the training to our students, the communication to our students, to our parents. How do we constantly improve, not on Mondays, but every day? Hopefully, you're starting to get a theme of what it takes to be successful in life. To get everything you ever want in life, these are the things you have to do, and you have to be consistent 7 days a week. Okay. So, and then the final part of that funnel. So you've got marketing, you've got improving of your product and service. Obviously, the last part is selling. Everybody thinks that's first because you're desperate for money, but you can't make money when you're not out there getting known in the world because you're only going to make money from the same people. And eventually you exhaust that. And then second, if you're not trying to improve the product or service that you provide. So that's the cycle that you want. By the way, once you get the sell, which gets easier because you do these things great, you just start it again. You remarket to new people, but you remarket to the current people, and you improve your product or service, and then you resell, and you just keep that funnel going. All right. So it sounds so simple, but whatever your business is right now, first thing is how good are you marketing? I'm not talking about your Facebook ads. That is advertising. All right. I talked to someone yesterday. They're like, hey, our Facebook marketing. I'm like, okay, what do you mean? You have some influencer that's helping you out for free. Otherwise, you're paying for it. And that's called advertising. So you got to get clear about what a definite words do matter. Words do matter. Okay. So there's branding, and we're actually going to do a separate workshop to some branding, marketing, and advertising. But there's branding, marketing, and advertising. More than likely, you're not marketing, and that's the key ingredient to kind of get the funnel started in a small business. Right? What are you doing to improve your product or service? 7 days a week. Tillman Fertitta talks about the 95-5 rule, which is Tillman Fertitta is the biggest restaurateur in America, owns the Houston Rockets. The 95-5 rule is he makes an assumption that he's not going to be in business if 95% of things are not flowing correctly. Like if his staff and his people are not doing the right things, 95% of it's got to be going right for it to work. But what's the 5% that you can take initiative as the employee or as the owner, as the manager, and move the needle that day? Okay, so where can you apply that? All right, next one. Better. This one's kind of weird to say, so just bear with me. Better is better than new. I'm gonna say it again. Better is better than new. A lot of my clients, when I'm working with you guys, you keep wanting to bring out the new thing. Like, what's the new product? What's the new service? What's the new gimmick, gadget? What is the new thing? The problem with that is you keep trying to bring out new things because you're trying to sell new things to old people, as in old clients. In reality is you want to keep selling the old thing that you know is tried and true that works to new people. Means get new blood, new clients. Sounds so simple. We should know this. These are all things that we should know, but then we get seduced by something different. We see someone on Instagram and think we have to change everything. So better is better than new. So take your old tried and true product or service and get better at it instead of trying to add on new. Oh, well, we can sell this over here, right? Some of the martial arts schools I work with are like, oh, hey, we can add a yoga program and we can add a jujitsu program when they don't even do this stuff over here. They don't do yoga. We can add this over here because they're just trying to find ways to fill time instead of becoming expert, better at what they actually already do to make the revenue they should be making. Okay. So, and obviously, if you don't know how to get better, that's a conversation for a one off on how we do that in your business. So, better is better than new. Quit thinking about, and I'll tell you too, going back to the martial arts world, because this happens in every industry. I've talked to people in other industries. You go to a convention, a workshop, a seminar, and you've got. I'm sure all of you guys have been some promotional type workshops and seminars. So you've got workshops going on. They're trying to teach you about something. You go out into the lobby. They have all the different vendors, and every vendor there knows the clientele they're talking to. Right? They know the kind of industry they're in. It's pharmaceuticals, right? It's fitness, it's martial arts, whatever it is. And they've got the newest, latest, greatest thing. Oh, we'll get you 50 new students in 30 days. We'll get you this guaranteed results. Some gimmick, right? That they sell it to you for 19.99, right? Oh, and for the convention this time, you get it for 50% off, and they get a bunch of people emotionally excited, thinking it's going to change and revolutionize their business. And then those people go home, and by the way, they do what everybody does when they go to a convention. They get all excited. They make an emotional response. They make a quick decision, and they come home. They don't touch the thing. They don't use it. And then their wife's like, man, why'd you spend that $2,000? And then the next time they go to a convention, they do the same thing. Eventually, the wife says, hey, you can't go to a convention again if you're going to spend the money. Oh, I won't do it again. I won't do it again. You go there, you get all excited, and then you drop some money on something you'll never use. Okay. Not saying I've ever done that. I'm just saying. So better is better than new. Quit trying to look for the newest, greatest thing. Take the thing that you're really good at, get better at it, get better at it, get better at it, and throw away the things when they come into your head. Now, I'm not saying don't do new concepts within your walls, but let's work on getting better first before we keep adding on all the different things. Okay. Next, and I know I talk fast, so hopefully you guys listen fast. Okay. All right. Next, this one's probably the toughest thing for people to understand, which is uh, leverage. Understand what leverage is. And business, leverage is a staff, a team. Most small business owners don't have a business, they have a job, a job. They're the only employee. They bought themselves their own job. It's okay, right? I keep seeing that meme on Instagram, right? Where being an entrepreneur is the only thing that you'll work 80 hours a week just so you won't work 40 hours for someone else. And a lot of times it's very accurate. And a lot of times you're working 80 hours for less money you would make working 40 hours for someone else, but you wouldn't have it any other way because the autonomy, the stress, the pressure, all is on your shoulders, and you're wired and you're built that way. You have to have it. Okay. But leverage. Let's just play this scenario real quick. Everyone here has 24 hours in the day. We've all heard that analogy. And sometimes some people figure out how to stack a lot of stuff in the 24 hours. And I'm not saying you should neglect sleep. Okay. But if you've got $24 and I got $24, we go to the store and we look around and we want to buy stuff. We start with the same amount. Whoever comes out with the more stuff with higher value to it is winning the day. Okay. So you got to spend your money in a way just like you would spend. Right now, fantasy football is happening. I don't really do it, don't really understand it, but I know a lot of people do it. What I do know though is one of my friends, they do a draft and they do a live draft, meaning they do it like people get together, looks pretty fun. They put some money up, okay, but they get a certain amount of money to spend for the players they're drafting, which keeps someone from just buying up all the better players and dominating the field because you have to strategize how you spend your money on buying the players that's going to be on your team to go play the rest of the league for the season. Your time's no different. If you got 24 hours, how you spend your time. And I don't believe in the managing, oh, I'm going to do this and this, because you like your day should not be predicted that tight. Things that get scheduled get done, yes. But as an entrepreneur, you're wearing a lot of different hats and you have to know what your outcome is. You got to know what's going to take to get there. You have to condense time down. So in reality is the best way to do that is bring on people. Oh, but I can't afford people. Oh, I can't find good people. You can't afford people because you think people cost you money. It costs you money because you hired the wrong people. Okay. If I hire Mark and I pay him $100,000 a year and he only brings in an extra 50,000 in revenue, well, then I hired the wrong guy. But if I pay him 100K and he goes and helps me bring in an extra $500,000 that I would have not made by myself, okay, because many hands makes light work. Well, then he not only paid for himself, he brought value to the company beyond himself. Imagine having 15 guys like that. Okay. Use a scenario that you have two people. Okay. They have 100 names on a list. I'm gonna call 100 names. Chad's gonna call 100 names. And we have the same names, same people, same list. He calls, I call. Okay. We finish at the same time. Who's gonna win? The guy who has the better offer is gonna win. He's trying to sell something for $900. I'm selling the same product for $99. I'm gonna win. But if we have the same list and the same product and the same price point, who's going to win? The guy who's going to figure out leverage because he's going to be able to beat the person. How am I going to get leverage? I'm going to get people to do it with me. Okay. So imagine he's got a company and we go get leads from, we buy them, we find them, we whatever, nurture them. He's one guy. Okay. He goes and grabs 100 leads. He calls 100 people to go sell. Okay. Let's say he's amazing. He can close 50%, which would be awesome. Okay. Because most people don't close that quick. But let's say he closes 50%. Great. He just got 50 new clients. I go and hire 15 people. Oh, but I don't have the money. Can't find 15 people. Okay. That's a problem you got to figure out. We can talk about it another day. And they go get 100 people each and they close 50%. So he's got 50. I've got 750 people I just closed. Those guys not only paid for themselves and then some. Okay. And then I, as the CEO of the company, have vision and forecast. They're doing the labor to build the platform so we can go to the next level. He's still stuck making phone calls. So you need to understand leverage. And yes, the workforce is different right now. All the things you said can be accurate, but how are you attracting people that would want to come work for you? What are you doing? Every time you go out, do you talk to people, right? Constantly talk to them. Hey, ever thought about coming and doing something different? You should be looking for opportunity all the time for that. Okay. All right. So everybody's got the same 24 hours, but not if you add people. Because if I got 24 and he's got 24, but I go hire 15 people, we're going to be able to get a lot more done. Understand leverage. It will take you to your next levels. All right. Next one. The best train the most and the best make the most. So in my company, we talk about the best train the most. What does that mean? All right. If we are going to be committed to our goals and my team members are going to be, committed to their goals, and we can't take days off on working towards a goal. Your fitness can't take a day off. Your diet can't take a day off. Your brain can't take a day off. The best people are going to train the most. So whatever version of training that is, my requirement was the first 90 minutes of your day, you woke up, before you think about work, I want you to spend 90 minutes being intentional with your day. So does that mean spend it with your family, take your kids to school, have breakfast with them? Does it mean go train and work out so you feel better about your body and your mindset? Does it mean read a book, journal, whatever it is? Before you even think about giving your time to anyone else in your life, take 90 minutes for yourself. Right? There's a guy named Robin Sharma. He's written many books. Right? One of my favorite books is the Everyday Hero Manifesto. I've listened to it 9 times, probably 10 by now. Great book. But he was famous for writing a book, okay, called the 5 a.m. Club and the Power Hour. Getting up and actually you spending an hour training your mind and your body before you give it to anyone else, priming your body and your for your day, your mind for your day. It works. I do it. So I'm able to give more. People always ask, how do you have so much energy? How do you get up so early and have energy all day long? It's because I set my intention first thing in the day. I get my body moving. I create energy. We are human beings. We are spiritual beings. We are energy. We are, but not when we entertain ourselves all day long or distract ourselves from dealing with tough issues because we're scared and we use fear as a motivator instead of opportunity. So what are you training on every single day? Me in the morning, I listen to audio training every day on things that for sure I was not good at. I was not great at sales running my company. I was not great at managing people. So that's where I use the Cardone University platform as a way to every day, and I still do it to this day, to kind of reinforce a value system, to reinforce positive thinking. Then I do my journaling. So where are you first? If you own a company, are you leading by example or you just tell your people to do it? Oh, and I do this 7 days a week. Okay. Yes, on Sundays. Before I even go see God and talk to him, I worry about myself because I can't go serve who I believe in if I'm not healthy mentally, physically, emotionally. Okay. So the best train the most. If you have a staff, you figure out the leverage thing, you got 15 people, you got 50 people, you got 70 people, you got 100 people. Microsoft has 222,000 employees. Think about being that big. That'd be awesome, right? What a great problem to have. Like the best people will be training on their job. Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, yes, he was the GOAT on the off season, was training his mind and his body. He was watching film on the off season. His coach didn't tell him to do that. He did it. Imagine attracting people to your staff like that. All right. That would be the perfect scenario that you want. The only way you're going to attract people like that, you got to be in the grind trying to get better 7 days a week. And it's going to make you a contrarian. The rest of the world isn't like that, majority of them. Okay. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, the needle should move every single day. That's where the commitment comes in. All right. Next, create alignment with your family, with your friends, with your staff, but most importantly, with yourself. What is alignment? Alignment, it's like just like you think about. Okay. You hit the curb trying to park. All of a sudden now your car's steering to the wrong direction. You got to go get it fixed. You got committed. You got a belief system. You resell yourself. Then sometimes you know exactly where you're going, but your spouse is a little confused. Your kids are confused. Your friends are confused. Your staff's confused. You sit down with your team and you tell them, hey, look, this is why I created this business. Here's where I'm going with this business. And then you get into the work mode and 6 months goes by and they get distracted because they're not training every single day. They're not trying to move towards a goal. And you haven't reset the deck. You have not got everybody back on the same page. Got to get people realigned. I would say you should do this at least quarterly in your business, if not more. You should always talk about where you're going. You lead from inspiration. You lead from where you're going. You quit talking about the past and bring it to the present. So that's daily. You should be telling your team, hey, here's where we're going as a company. Hey, family, here's where we're going. When your family has a vacation on the docket, right, 6 months down the road, you guys are getting pumped up. The closer you get, the more pumped up you are. And it's almost a letdown when it's here because you like looking forward towards it. Your staff needs to know what they're looking forward towards, lead from inspiration, but they do need a realignment to make sure that everyone on your team is going in the same direction. Otherwise, you got 5 people on your team and 2 people are rolling the opposite direction. Friction's happening, stressful. Nobody wants to be there. I in my own company one time would show up at work and not want to be there because I did not have alignment with my team. I didn't like some of my team members. My fault. I was not leading from inspiration. I would show up to work where I owned the company and didn't want to be there. Man, that was miserable. All right. I hated that year. You get rid of someone and you're like, why didn't I do that a year ago? Because sometimes you're seduced by the financial success. And it's tough to make decisions when you know it might hurt short term, but it is the right thing for long term. Still tough. All right. 2 more to go, guys. 2 more to go. Urgency wins. Urgency wins. Probably of all the ones I said right here, if I could talk to a business owner right now and tell them why they are not me, that in the industry I was in, the last year I ran my company 6.9 million in gross sales. Next biggest person I know doesn't even hit 2 million. What's the biggest difference? They'll get a lead, they'll wait till the next day to call them, and they'll call them one time. They'll bring in a client, sell them, and then they're going to wait to sell them the next level program a year later. Right? Uh, they had a bunch of unsold customers, and they're afraid to go back to them, so they're going to wait. And urgency wins. Matter of fact, in our group that works with me, I said, the best day to book the appointment when you're on the phone with someone isn't tomorrow; it's today. Okay. What if I call them on a Sunday and you're not open? Okay. Hey, how about I meet you today at 5 o'clock? Would you be willing? If you're the owner, I know you're willing. Would your team? Imagine having a team that's willing. Hey, I know. Listen, I know it's Sunday 5 o'clock, but I can be there at 7 o'clock, and you make the appointment today. They'll probably will say no to you, but you should at least make that your first offer. That's the urgency you have to have. I remember we had a pitch one time for a $30,000 sell. Okay, $30,000 in our industry was huge. Not very many people ever pulled that off. And I remember this team member was like, "Oh, this person's going to come in on Thursday. I think it was on a Monday. This person's going to come on Thursday. I'm just going to wait and collect it then." And in my mind, I'm like, "All right, they told you verbally they want to do this. From Monday to Thursday, 4 days. You don't think that person gets in a car wreck and needs to buy a new car instead of giving you money, or they change their mind about the product, or they decide, you know what, instead of the 30 grand here, I go buy a vacation. You don't think they don't get distracted by the world unsold by themselves? Why would you not? If someone told me that, I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. I'm gonna get in my car. I'm gonna drive to their house and be like, "Hey, Mr. Smith, listen. I know we just talked about this on the phone 15 minutes ago, but I'm here. Let's roll." Like that's the urgency you have to have. You know when I moved most urgent in my life? Okay, there's been a few times when something's happened to my kids. Okay, they got hurt or got in trouble. Either scenario, bam! I'm like I didn't know I could move so fast. I remember my daughter got hurt one time. Okay, I remember she got sick. We're out of town, and I never moved so fast. Driving the car to the hospital. I mean, definitely reckless. In the moment, you don't care because you're like, man, I'm taking figuring this out. That's kind of how you need to run your business, right? When your business is in trouble, you need to get it to the ER. There needs to be urgency. What if you just acted that way all the time though, so you never got to the level you have to take it to the ER? Where's the level of urgency there? Okay, so if you got a lead today, it's Saturday, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's the weekend. I'll wait. Okay, I'm on the boat. I'm not. I'll wait. Okay. While you're waiting, someone else is going to call that person because, by the way, that person all of a sudden searching online, they didn't just search your place. They looked up the other five competitors, and whoever gets that first call is probably going to get the sell. So urgency's got to be part of it. Okay, speed is a form of currency when it comes to that. And then last, look, the economy, all the things that we want to use as excuses. It's always going to be a problem. There's always going to be some challenges. So resilience. Okay, resilience is what's going to win in business. You're going to have bad employees. You're going to have bad clients. You're going to have people that steal your time, steal your money, steal your energy. They'll make you doubt, question. Did you do number one? Know the outcome. You start questioning the outcome. You start questioning, is this even what I want to go after? Is this even important? Do I even care anymore? Those bad energy suckers, those drainers are going to start taking you off course, making you question everything about life. Resilience is what it's going to take because there's not a moment ever you're going to go through business. And by the way, the bigger you get, the more successful you become, the harder this happens, the more it happens to you. Can you be living a nightmare short term and continue to sell the dream of where you're going? That is easy to say and so hard to do. Okay, a lot of tears at night, a lot of spouts with yourself, a lot of questioning, and that's where the resilience has to kick in. I always think about fighting. Right, I've seen this happen too many times in boxing and the UFC when it looks like this guy's going to go down, the fight's over, and he weathers the storm. The next thing you know, he comes out triumphant. I've seen it too many times. I've seen it in the Super Bowl, 28-3 at halftime. Okay, imagine going to that locker room. How defeated would you be in the biggest game that's available in that sport, the biggest arena, the one of the most, if not the most watched televised event, and you're getting beat that bad, man, like where's the leadership? All of a sudden, that showed resilience. Unfortunately, my team was on the wrong side of that game. So, can you live a nightmare at times and continue to sell the dream? Why is that important? Is because if you've got a staff and they know how stressed you are, how you're starting to be unsold about your commitment, very easy for them to like, you're not the right leader. Because all the stuff I just went over with you takes massive amount of leadership first from yourself. Are you training every day to be a better leader? Lead yourself first. Okay. If you're not willing to go train for 20 minutes a day on how to get better at selling, even though you hired someone to do selling, or phone call procedures, or marketing, or you confuse marketing and advertising, or you don't know how to improve your product. If you're not doing what you hire someone to do it, you think, okay, I'm just going to give them the control to do it. You're going to give up control of your business, your livelihood, your family's future because you're unwilling to do it yourself. All right. That's an issue. So that resilience, right, is a form of leadership. Being sold on where you're going, having an outcome is a form of leadership. Being on the move with urgency is a form of leadership. So all of this will rise and fall based on your level of how you lead yourself, your family, your friends, your team. Because I will tell you, as a business owner, your country depends on great leadership, and you have the ability to actually move the needle not only for your financial future, not only for your confidence in your belief system, but you can impact your community truly by being successful. We need more examples of successful men and women in this country. Our kids need it. We need people to believe in. And you want to talk about hope? It starts with the leadership of a small business owner going out there and figuring out how to sometimes live the nightmare, okay, while they're selling the dream, working towards the dream, knowing exactly the outcome, believing the outcome so much there's no possibility of failure. We need more of that. All right, guys, those are 10 tips. Hopefully you were writing some notes down. Last thing I'll say to you, there's so much information in the world. There's more information we ever need. YouTube's great. Difference maker is not information, it's taking action. So how urgent are you to make sure starting today you improve at least one thing personally, professionally, financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically in your life so you actually become the person that you were intended to be, you start reaching your potential. All right, guys, appreciate your time. You're going to get an email from me if you'd like to work with us going forward. Some of you guys already do, but I appreciate your time today, and we'll see you next month for one of these episodes again. Take care, guys. Peace.